a warm welcome to all of you to this program. Today is our 19th session of the series of online problem solving sessions arranged for JAM, NET, and GATE aspirants on behalf of Math Aspirants WhatsApp groups. Today, our topic of discussion is problems related with ordinary differential equations. This is the second session that we arrange on ordinary differential equations. One session was done by Meenakshi Ghosh from Diamond Harbour Women's University of West Bengal. Today also we have a resource person from West Bengal, namely Mr. Tapan Sarkar. He is from West Bengal. He did his MSc from Rabindra Bharati University, Kolkata, and now he is pursuing PhD in applied mathematics at NIT Silchar, Assam. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Mr. Taban for accepting our invitation and joining with us. I welcome all the participants to this event, and I hope that today's session will be really fruitful. As you know, JAM examination is on February 14th. There is only a few days left out. So I wish all the participants all success in their exams. And I welcome once again to all of you to this program, and uh, I request Taban to handle the session. Over to Taban. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. According to the information, I hope Meenakshi has done the question from 2016 to 2020, and I have tried to cover the questions from 2011 to 2015. So let us begin with the first question. Here the first question is given by let y equal to ux sin x plus bx cos x be a solution of the differential equation y double dash plus y equal to sec x. Then four options is given and we have to find the value of ux. So if we try to solve the question, we have to know a very useful theorem or result. You can say result that if y double dash plus pxy dash plus qxy equal to rx be a given differential equation, and if it is given that y1 and y2 and y2 are two linearly independent solutions, you must see it carefully that the solutions should be linearly independent. Then
Taban,
the solution, yes sir.
excuse me, Taban, you can give some time for the participants to answer the question, and you can join from your mobile phone also, so that you can see the chat box, if it possible.
So the solution is given here. Yes, so discuss the theorem. The solution of the corresponding homogeneous equation, that is, if we put Rx equal to 0, then it can be shown that the solution is of the form Yx equal to Ux Y1x plus Bx, sorry, here should be Vx Y2x, where Ux and Vx is given by Y1 Rx by W. Can anyone say that what is W represent here? If anyone know? Here W is the Wronskian of the solution y1 and y2. Can anyone tell me the definition of Wronskian of solution y1 and y2 for two given solution y1 and y2? How to define Wronskian?
Participants, you are encouraged to unmute yourself, and you can answer, and you can ask during the class.
Yes, no problem.
It's
Can anyone
determinant
say
of
what is the Wronskian?
it's
Yes,
Yes.
determinant of y1 y2 and y1 dash y2 dash.
Yes, correct. So if we compare this equation, with the given equation, that is y double dash plus y equal to sec x, then what we get, if we put y equal to mx as a trial solution or trivial solution, then obviously the auxiliary equation will be m square plus 1 equal to 0, and then the roots of the auxiliary equation will be m equal to plus minus I, and so for this the complementary function will be c1 cos x plus c2 sin x. Here if we take y1 equal to cos x and y2 equal to sin x, then what will be the Wronskian? The Wronskian will be y1 y2, that is cos x sin x, and then y1 dash. Y1 dash means derivative of cos x, that is minus sin x, and y2 dash, that is derivative of sin x, that is cos x. If we expand the determinant, then we will get cos square x plus sin square x, that is cos square x plus sin square x, that is equal to 1. So if we use the formula ux equal to minus y1 rx by w dx plus c1, so here w becomes 1, so here I just put 1, and y1 means the solution is cos x, and rx is right hand side term of the equation, and which is equal to sec x. Then cos x into sec x, which will be cancelled and it becomes 1. So here only dx will remain, and we know that the integration of dx will be x, and so the solution is minus x plus c1. So which option is true? So here option B is true. Is it clear to everyone? Please someone confirm. Okay, thank you. So to solve the problem, you should remember the theorem that if y1 and y2 let us begin with second.
I think it's
Here two
x plus
solutions,
c.
y1 and y2. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Somebody is telling. Okay,
I think
Bishop.
it's,
Yes.
sir, here minus is come, but my solution is x plus c. Please check.
Yes. C1 can be choose as C because C1 is an arbitrary constant, na?
Sir, here you minus
Is
x
it clear?
into x. I think it's option C is
No,
correct.
here see the for. Okay, let me check that. Here the formula is minus y1 rx by w. So you can see that here is y1. Sorry, here is minus, and y1 is cos x. Y1 is cos x, so cos x, and rx is equal to sec x by 1. So when we integrate, we will get minus x, na? Is it clear? Hello?
1 minute. Let me check, sir. 1 minute.
Okay. You see the formula that there is a minus na before the formula of ux.
Okay, Taban, you can proceed.
Okay, in the second problem, we have given two solutions, y1 and y2, and it is given that they are linearly independent. And they have defined the Wronskian here, and they just try to find the value of Wronskian of 3 minus Wronskian of 2. Can anyone know about the Abel's formula of Wronskian? How to find the Wronskian using Abel's formula or Abel's theorem? If anyone know, please tell me. What is the Abel's formula or Abel's theorem of Wronskian? Okay, let me tell about the Abel's theorem. Okay, please repeat. Please tell me.
Sir, it's e to the power integration of the coefficient of y dash by the coefficient of y double dash.
Yes, and there will be a minus sign before that.
Yes, sir.
So let me tell about the Abel's theorem. Abel's theorem is given by Wronskian of x equal to Wronskian of x0 into e to the power x0 to x a1x by a0, where a1 and a0 is given. We can obtain a1 and a0 from this formula. Here the given differential equation is given by a0x y double dash plus a1x y dash plus a2. So a0 is the coefficient of y dash. Sorry, a1 is the coefficient of y dash and a0 is the coefficient of y double dash. Here you should note clearly that here we written a term w at x0. Here w at x0 means it is it is known that the value of the Wronskian at x0 is given to us, where x0 must belongs to the domain of the definition of the differential equation. That is, in which domain we try to find the solution of the differential equation. Here you can see that Wronskian at 1 is given. So what will be the formula? Wronskian of x will be Wronskian at 1 into e to the power 1 to x. Here x0 is 1, na? W at 1 equal to 1. So the formula will be e to the power 1 to x a1 by a0 dx. So here, what is a1? Here a1 is minus 2x is x square. Then we will get dx by x. So integration, we will get 2 log x. And if we put the upper limit, then 2 log x minus 2 into log 1. And log 1 becomes 0. So it will be 2 log x. So finally, we will get wx equal to x square. Is it clear that the value of Wronskian is x square? Please someone confirm. Is it clear? Hello?
Yes.
If anyone have any doubt, please let me know. You should remind the Abel's theorem of Wronskian. If the value of the Wronskian at a given point is given, then we should use the Abel's theorem. So Wronskian become x square. So here in the question we have to find the value of w at 3 minus w at 2. So what will be the answer? 3 square minus 2 square. That is 9 minus 4. What will be the answer? Hello? Someone please,
Yeah.
what will be the answer?
Yeah, answers are coming in the chat box, Tapan.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. 5, yes. 9 minus 4, it will be 5. So which option will be correct? So option D will be correct. Okay, let me discuss the third question. Third question is given by, we have a given differential equation.
Tapan, 1 minute. Your screen is not fully
Yes, sir.
visible. Just reduce the zooming of it. The left side is not visible. Okay, because of you can, yeah, go for a little bit small amount of zooming.
Is it okay, sir, now?
I think something left side is not completely visible. You can little bit reduce the zooming. I think okay now. It's okay now. Okay,
Yes, sir.
members, is it clear? Participants, is the screen is completely visible?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. Okay. Yes.
So
Yes, the best.
let us discuss the third problem. Here a given differential equation is given, and we have to given two conditions that y0 equal to 4 and the first order derivative at x equal to 0 is 8. So we have to find the solution of the differential equation. Can anyone tell me what will be the answer? You may try by putting the given conditions which will satisfy the which option satisfy the given condition. In this way you can try, or you can try by solving the differential equation. Yes, someone is saying option B is true. So let me see what will be the correct answer. Someone please tell me what will be the auxiliary equation here. If we put y equal to e to the power mx be the trial solution or initial solution.
M square plus 4m
Please,
plus 4 equals to 0.
yes, yes. So here auxiliary equation is given by m square plus 4m plus 4 equal to 0, and which is equivalent to m plus 2 whole square equal to 0, and this will give us m equal to minus 2 minus 2. So here minus 2 is a repeated root. So the solution can be written in the form yx equal to c1x plus c2 into e to the power minus 2x. And here y at 0 equal to 4 is given. So if we y at 0 equal to 4 means what? When x equal to 0, then the value of y is 4. So if we put here x equal to 0, then this term becomes 0 and e to the power 0 become 1. So what will remain in the right hand side? In the right hand side, it will only remain c2, and when x equal to 0, y is 4. So what I will get? I will get c2 equal to 4. So here I get become c1 and 0, and it will fix the term e to the power c1x plus 4, then the derivative of e to the power minus 2x will be minus 2 into e to the power minus 2x. So if we put x equal to 0, here it is given that dy dx at x equal to 0 is 8. So if we put x equal to 0 in this expression, then we will get x equal to 0 means e to the power 0 is 1, so c1, and x equal to 0 means this term becomes 0, and so it will be minus 2 into 4, that is minus 8. So c1 equal to 8 plus 8, so c1 becomes 16. So the solution becomes c1 is 16, so 16x plus 4 into e to the power minus 2x. So in which option it is given? So it is given in option 16x plus 4. Can anyone tell me the answer without solving the question? That is, by any logic you can say that the answer will be option B without solving the full solution.
Sir, only option B satisfies the auxiliary equation.
Only option B
Satisfies the auxiliary equation of the differential equation.
How can you sure that it is satisfying the auxiliary equation?
Sir, we from auxiliary equation we take the we get the repeated roots, we can write the auxiliary equation as y equal to c1 plus c2x into e to the power minus 2x.
Yes, yes. So in which in the options where e to the power 2x is given, they will automatically false. So here only option B will be true. Because in the auxiliary equation you can see that c1x plus c2 into e to the power minus 2x will be solution. So if there is a multiplication with e to the power minus 2x, then there will be a possibility that option C will be true, because here e to the power minus 2x is not given, so only option B is true. So without solving you can say that the option B is correct. Is it clear? Hello, is it clear?
Okay,
Okay,
members,
let me-
please do respond throughout the class. Please do respond. Okay.
So
Yeah,
let me
many of you
discuss
are commenting in
the,
the chat box. Okay.
yes sir.
Okay.
Okay, let me discuss the next problem. In the next problem, the differential equation is given here, and we have to find the limit, that limit t tends to infinity e to the power minus t into yt. What is yt? Yt is the solution of the differential equation given by this. So here obviously the auxiliary equation will be m square plus 4 equal to 0, and the roots of the auxiliary equation will be plus minus 2i. And we know that if alpha plus minus I beta is a root of the auxiliary equation, then the solution is of the form yt equal to e to the power alpha t c1 cos 2t plus c2 sin 2t. So here the roots are m equal to plus minus 2i. So if we compare it with alpha plus minus I beta, then alpha becomes 0 and beta will be 2. So if we put alpha equal to 0, then e to the power 0t, that means 1, and the value of beta is 2. So the solution will be yt equal to c1 cos 2t plus c2 sin 2t. And it is not an homogeneous equation, so we have to find the particular integral also. So the particular integral will be 1 by d square plus 4 2 into e to the power 2t. Can anyone what will be, someone please tell me what will be the particular integral of this solution? 1 by d square plus 4 2 e to the power 2t.
Sir, it's 2 by 5 into e to the power t.
Yes, we have to just put d equal to 1 here. So it will be 1 plus 4, that is 5. So it will be 2 to the power 5 e to the power 2t. Here the formula is given by, you can see that if we have to find the particular integral of 1 by f of d to the power at, and if we put d in place of, sorry, if we put a in place of d, then it will be fa. And if fa not equal to 0, then the particular integral will be 1 by fa e to the power at. Can anyone tell me what will be the particular integral if fa becomes 0? Here fa must be not equal to 0. If fa equal to 0, then what will be the particular integral of 1 by f of d to the power 18? If anyone know, please tell me.
Sir, it's 1 by d minus a whole square plus 4. Then
1 by,
if
please repeat.
if the function of the left side is e to the power 80, then
Yes.
we can write the particular integral as e to the power 80 into 1 by d minus a whole square plus 4 into the left.
Why it will be d minus a whole square? We have to replace d by d minus a
yes,
only.
Sir, the
Have you got it?
yes, sir. Here
Yes,
the
yes,
function is 1 by d square plus 4. So I thought that
Oh,
it's
yes, yes.
1 by d minus a whole square plus 4.
Yes, sure. I just want to know about the general formula. It will be replaced d by d minus a, correct?
Yes, sir.
If the function is f of d, then if f of a equal to 0, then we have to replace by d by d minus a. Okay. So what will be the general solution? The general solution will be CF plus PI, that is particular integral. So so we have to find the limit, that limit t tends to infinity b to the power minus t into yt. Yt is the solution of the differential equation. So e to the power minus t into yt is given here. So it will become, if we multiply by e to the power minus 2t, then first two term will give us that e to the power minus 2t plus e to the power minus t into 2 by 5 into e to the power t, and which will give us 2 by 5. Can anyone say how this portion of the limit becomes 0? How can we calculate that this portion of the limit will become 0? This is okay. This is constant term, so limit will be 2.5 when t tends to infinity. And how this portions, limit of this portion become 0? If anyone know, please tell me.
Sir, here cos x and sin x functions are bounded, and e to the power minus t tends to 0 when t tends to infinity.
Yes, sure. Here, cos x and sin x are bounded, so this term will give us a bounded number and some bounded number into e to the power minus t, which will goes to 0 as t tends to infinity. So, is it clear to everyone? Okay, let's me go to the next question. It is an interesting question. See the question carefully. What is given here? Here a first order initial value problem is given here, that y dash equal to root over minus y. Can anyone say that it is a linear or a non-linear? So let us discuss the problem. So here the initial value problem is given by y dash equal to root over y. Can anyone say that it is a linear equation or non-linear equation? Is it a linear equation or non-linear equation? Hello? No problem. Try someone. Linear or non-linear?
Yeah, comments are there in chat box. Non-linear. Many of them are claiming.
Okay, sir. Okay, non-linear. Yes, it is non-linear because the power of y is here half. So it is a non-linear equation. And see given here carefully that y at 0 is alpha. And alpha must be greater or equal to 0. And the options are given here that at least two solution if alpha equal to 0, no solution if alpha greater than 0, at least one solution if alpha greater than 0, and a unique solution alpha equal to 0. Can anyone say that what will be the answer of this question without solving the question by any logic or any result or any theorem? What will be the answer of the question? If anyone know? So let me share a result, or you can say theorem. See the theorem carefully, or you may say it a theorem or a result that if it is given that dy dx equal to y to the power alpha, here you must see carefully that alpha must be lies between 0 and 1. That is 0 less than alpha less than 1. And the given condition should be y at b equal to 0, where b belongs to R. You should note here carefully two things. One thing is alpha must be lies between 0 and 1, and the value of y at any real number should be 0. If these two conditions are given, then we can say that the differential equation has infinitely many solutions. We can say that the differential equation must have infinitely many solutions. So here what is given? Here alpha is y to the power half, that is alpha become half. So alpha satisfying the condition 0 less than alpha less than 1, and y at b equal to 0. Y at b equal to 0, and b is any real number. So here they are given that b as 0. So y at 0, they are saying that y at 0 is alpha. So in first option they are saying that at least two solution if alpha equal to 0. That is, you can say that if y at b equal to 0, here b is 0, that is y at 0 equal to 0, and alpha satisfying the condition 0 less than alpha less than 1. So the given problem satisfying the two conditions of the theorem. So the differential equation will have infinitely many solutions. So the differential equation will have infinitely many solutions. It means it must have at least two solutions. So first option will be automatically true. Is it clear to everyone that how first option is become correct? Next we will discuss the other option. Is the first option clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
now see what is happen if alpha equal to 0. What is happen if alpha greater than 0 or alpha equal to 0? Here in the last option you can see that they are saying that a unique solution if alpha equal to 0, which is not true, because we have seen that if alpha equal to 0, alpha.
Taban, voice is not clear.
Here you, if you say that, sir, I don't know why this problem is facing, because network is okay also.
Is your any problem with your earphone mic device?
No, sir, I am not using earphone.
Okay, sometimes so please try to speak near to the mic. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So, if we see that the differential equation y dash equal to root over y, obviously y equal to 0 is the solution of the differential equation. Is it clear? Can anyone say how y equal to 0 is the solution of this differential equation? Because if we put y equal to 0, then y dash, automatically y dash will be 0. So it satisfies the left hand side as well as the right hand side. So y equal to 0 must will be a solution of the differential equation. So for alpha greater than 0, if we try to solve the differential equation, that y dash equal to root over y. So if we divide by root over y, then we will get this, and after integration, we will get the solution as x plus c, and after simplification, we will get 2 into root over y equal to x plus c, and y at 0 is alpha. So when x equal to 0, if we put x equal to 0 here, x equal to 0 here, then y will be alpha. So c equal to 2 root over alpha, and if we substitute the value of c in this equation, then we will get 2 root over y equal to x plus 2 root over alpha. And if we simplify this, and if we divide by 2, then we will get this, and after squaring in both sides, we will get this. So when alpha is greater than 0, so y equal to 0 is automatically a solution, and we have getting another solution, this. So the number of solution will be 2. And in option B, they are saying that no solution if alpha greater than 0, which is not true, because if alpha greater than 0, we will get 2 solution. And in option C, they are saying that at least 1 solution if alpha greater than 0, and which will be true. So option A and option C will be true. The problem may be given in some different manner. So you must have noted that alpha must be lies between 0 and 1, and y at B should be 0 for getting the infinite number of solution. Is this question is clear to everyone? Hello?
Yeah,
Okay.
they are responding
Someone
in the
clear?
chat box. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So see the next problem. Next problem, they are saying that alpha belongs to R, and for which value of alpha these two curves intersect orthogonally. If two curves intersect orthogonally, then what will be the condition that the curves will intersect orthogonally? Can anyone say what will be the condition that two curves intersect orthogonally? Please mute yourself and tell me if anyone know.
So the multiplication of the two slopes will be -1.
Yes, yes, correct. So what will be the slope of the first curve? So for getting the slope of the first curve, we should differentiate with respect to x, and we all know that the slope will be dy dx is the slope of the curve. So if we differentiate with respect to x, then we will get 2x plus 2 alpha y dy dx equal to 0, and from here we will get dy dx equal to minus x by alpha, and the slope we say that this slope is m1, and The second curve is given by y equal to x square. So if we again differentiate with respect to x, we will get it 2x.
Tapan voice
Is
is
here m1 now it is clear, sir?
okay. Now it is okay.
So product of the slope is -1. So 2x into minus x by alpha y equal to -1. So if we multiply, then we get minus 2x square equal to alpha y. And you can see that x square is the value of x square is y. So if we put x square equal to y, then what we will get? We will get minus 2y alpha equal to -1. So alpha will be 2. So in which option it is given that alpha equal to 2? So option D is correct. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear? Okay, someone is saying yes. Okay, let me discuss the next question. In the next question, the domain of the function f and g is given by closed interval -1 to 1, and the functions is given by x cube, fx equal to x cube, and gx equal to x square. And what are the options here? The options here are given that f and g are linearly independent. In the first option, they are saying that f and g are linearly independent. And in the second option, they are saying that f and g are linearly dependent. Can anyone say that when two functions are said to be linearly dependent and when they are said to be linearly independent? Please someone mute yourself and tell me when two functions are said to be linearly
Hello.
dependent and independent.
Two functions are said to be linearly dependent if the
Yes.
Wronskian of the two function is identically 0,
Yes.
and otherwise it is linearly independent.
Any other definition that two functions are said to be linearly dependent or independent without using Wronskian?
If two functions are linearly dependent, then we can express one function in the terms of scalar multiples of other.
Yes, yes, correct. So one function will be a scalar multiple. One function will be a scalar multiple of the other function if they are linearly dependent. Correct. So, and the third option saying that if the product that is the value of this is become 0, and the fourth option they are saying that there exists continuous function px and qx such that f and g must satisfy this differential equation. So let us solve the question. Here see that fx is x cube and gx is x square mod x. If we break the function gx, that is, we know that when x greater or equal to 0, then mod x become x, and when x less than 0, mod x become minus x. So gx will be x cube when x greater or equal to 0, and gx will be minus x cube when x less than 0. So does there exist any real number c for which fx equal to c into gx? We see that when x greater or equal to 0, then fx equal to gx, and when x less than 0, then fx equal to minus gx. So there does not exist any real number c such that for all x belongs to R, fx equal to c into gx. That is that is the function are not linearly dependent because there does not exist any particular c. For x greater or equal to 0, we can get a c. that is the value of c is 1, because when x greater or equal to 0, fx equal to gx, and when x less than 0, and throughout the whole real number, that is for all x belongs to R, we can say that fx equal to fx equal to c into gx, and so the functions are not linearly dependent. Are not linearly dependent, then the function must be linearly independent. Is this portion is clear to everyone? How we show that the functions are linearly independent? Is this portion is clear?
Yes, sir, it is.
Hello?
It's okay, sir.
Okay, so first option they are saying that f and g are linearly independent. So first option will be true. So let us see the second, third, and fourth option. Second option saying that f and g are linearly dependent, which is not true, because we have shown that the f and g are linearly independent. And the third option is actually they are saying that the Wronskian is not identically 0 on it, not identically 0 in this interval. So let us try to find the Wronskian. According to the definition of Wronskian of fx and gx is given by fx gx f dash x into g dash x. Now we are just computing the value of Wronskian for x greater than 0. For x greater than 0, what is the value of gx? Gx is x square, x cube. Sorry, gx is x cube. So fx is x cube, gx is x cube, and then f dash x equal to 3x square. And as for x greater than 0, gx is x cube, so g dash x will be 3x square. And so the value of this determinant must be 0, because you can say that two row is identical, so the value of the determinant is 0. So Wronskian is 0. Here you can see that we just proved that for x greater than 0, the Wronskian of the two functions become 0. But here what I have written here that w at x equal to 0 for all x belongs to -1 to 1. But we have shown here that for x greater than 0, Wronskian is 0. So how can I write that Wronskian at x equal to 0 is 0 for all x belongs to -1 to 1? Can anyone say? How can I write here that Wronskian at x equal to 0 for all x belongs to -1 to 1?
It is the
If anyone
proper. Hello.
Yes, please.
It is the property of Wronskian that if for a particular value of domain, if it is 0, then for all x it is 0.
Yes, sure. Yes, sure. So by that property, we can say that Wronskian at x equal to 0. Sorry, Wronskian will be 0 throughout the interval -1 to 1. But in the second option, they are saying that Wronskian is not identically 0. So the option will be false. So here we find that Wronskian becomes 0 throughout the interval. So what we can say about the solution of the differential equation for which f and g are the solution?
Sir, what
As
is
the
the
Wronskian.
Sir,
Yes, please.
what is
Yes,
the
please.
significance of Wronskian? That means I say that Wronskian says what is the meanings of a problem?
If two solutions are given for a given differential equation, and if we find the Wronskian, and if the Wronskian is not equal to 0, then we can say that the solutions of the differential equations are linearly independent. And
That I
if
know.
the
I say that I know. I says that Wronskian non-zero, then solution are linearly independent. what is the connection linearly independent and Wronskian non-zero? Man, that's inner meaning of the Wronskian is what? There is any connection between geometrical significance, মানে
Question
geometry and Wronskian?
no, I have. If I find any solution, then I will share with sir, and he will give you the solution if there be any geometrical interpretation of Wronskian. Okay. Hello.
Okay, you can.
Hello.
It is available in many standard books. Don't worry about that. You can
Yes, sir. Yes.
go on with problem.
Okay, sir. Okay. So go to
Sir.
the next problem.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, please state the property again and the option D. I cannot understand that.
Okay. See the solution. And I say something. If I got some times at the end of the of this session, I will share some properties of Wronskian with you, and that will be really very helpful for you. So for the time being, let us discuss the option 4. In the 4 option, what they are saying in the fourth option, they are saying that there exists continuous function px and qx such that f and g satisfies this differential equation. Okay. So if f and g satisfies this differential equation, then and px and qx are continuous, then what will be the Wronskian? If f and g are satisfying this equation, y double dash plus py dash plus qy equal to 0, what will be the Wronskian? Because we have already find that the Wronskian of fx and gx will be 0. That means the solution will be linearly dependent, right?
Yes, sir.
Hello. The solution will be linearly dependent. But what they are saying, they are saying that there exists continuous function px and qx such that f and g satisfies this equation. This means f and g will be linearly independent solution. But we have already proved that f and g are linearly dependent. So it is a contradiction, na?
Okay, sir.
Have you got it?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
So let us discuss the next problem. So next problem, you can see here that a differential equation is given here, and it is saying that the general solution approaches to zero as x tends to infinity. Then they are saying that what options will be correct. So obviously the auxiliary equation will be m square plus bm plus c equal to 0. Here we suppose that m1 and m2 are two roots of this auxiliary equation. Someone please tell me what will be the value of m1 plus m2 and m1 dot m2 if m1 and m2 are two roots of this.
Sir, M1 plus M2 will be minus B and
Yes.
M1 into M2 is C.
Okay, correct. So here I just write m1 plus m2 equal to minus b and m1 m2 equal to c. And if m1 and m2 are two roots, then what will be the solution? The solution will be yx equal to c1 e to the power mx plus c2 e to the power m2x. They are saying that when x tends to infinity, the solution must be approaches to 0. So what we can say that if the solution becomes 0, so we say that if m1 less than 0, m1 less than 0 means the power of e to the power must be negative, and m2 less than 0 means power of e to the power x should be negative. So when x tends to infinity, then yx tends to 0. Is this portion is clear? If m1 and m2 both less than 0, then yx must be tends to 0. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Less than 0, 0. Their sum. M1 because sum of two negative 0. And what is the value of m1 plus m2? The value of m1 plus m2 is minus b. So if we put here minus b, then minus b less than 0. And if we multiply by minus in both sides, then we will get b greater than 0. And m1 less than 0 and m2 less than 0. Yes. Hello. If
Yes.
m1 less
Yes.
than 0 and m2 less than 0. Hello.
Yes, Chadan. You can
I
continue.
cannot
No
hear you
problem.
properly. Yes, please. Okay. If m1 less than 0 and m2 less than 0, what will be their product? Product of two negative number must be positive. So product of two negative number must be positive. So m1, m2, sorry, here will be m1. m1, m2 must be greater than 0. And what is the value of m1, m2? The value of m1, m2 is c. So c must be positive. So what we are getting here that b must be positive and c must be positive. So let us check the option. In which option b is positive and c is positive? In option C, they are saying that both B and C are positive. So option C will be true. Is it clear to everyone? Okay, I can see in the chat box. Someone is said that yes, it is. Okay, and then next discuss the next problem. Here a differential equation is given here. This is the given differential equation, and they are saying that this differential equation satisfying y at 1 equal to 0 and y at b equal to 0. And they are asking that determine the value of b for which the given differential equation has non-trivial solution. That is, we have to find the value of b for which the given differential equation has non-trivial solution. Can anyone say by seeing this equation, what is the type of this differential equation? It is some standard form of a given differential equation, some special form of a differential equation. Can anyone say what is the type of this differential equation?
Euler-Cauchy.
Sir, it's
Yes.
Cauchy-Euler.
Yes, sure. Yes, Euler-Cauchy or Cauchy-Euler? Sure. So, how can I solve this Euler-Cauchy equation? We just put log x equal to z, and then x y dash will be dy, and x square y double dash will be d minus 1 into y, and where d equal to d dz. So if we put the value of x y dash, x square y double dash, then we will get from this equation that d minus 1 plus d plus 1 of y equal to 0. And after simplification, we will get d square plus 1 equal to 0. And the auxiliary equation will be m square plus 1. And the roots of the auxiliary equation will be m equal to plus minus I. And the solution will be y equal to c1 cos z plus c2 sin z. And value of z is log x. So if we substitute c1 cos log x plus c2 sin log x. And in the question, it is given that y at 1 equal to 0 and y at b equal to. So if we substitute y at 1 equal to 0, so putting x equal to 1, what will log 1 will be 0. So right hand side becomes c1 cos 0 plus c2 sin 0, and y at 1 equal to 0. So left hand side becomes 0. So from here we can say that C1 equal to 0 because cos 0 is 1 and sin 0 is 0. So C1 becomes 0. So if we substitute the mistake, sorry, C2 sin log B, here should be log B. C2 sin log B equal to 0. Now here I write C2 not equal to 0 because if C2 equal to 0, then what will be the solution? If we put C2 equal to 0, Y will be 0, but find that non-trivial solution. Non-trivial solution means non-zero solution. So C2 must be not equal to 0 because if C2 equal to 0, then you can say that the solution become Y equal to 0. Here see, if we put C2 equal to 0, then the solution will be, so for non-trivial solution, C2 must be not equal to 0. So sin log B will be 0 because product of two number is equal to 0 and C2 not equal to 0. So sin log B will be 0, and we know that 0 equal to sin n pi. So if we say that if we cancel out sin x, then we will get log B equal to n pi and B equal to e to the power n pi, and where n belongs to z. Someone say that here n belongs to z. So what will be the answer? You can see that they are just want to know that determine the value for values of b greater than 1, and we know that e to the power n pi must be always greater than 1. Okay, value of e to the power n pi must be always greater than 1, because if there is a negative term, suppose n equal to -2, then it will be e to the power -2 pi, and then what will be the value? The value will be 1 by e to the power 2 pi, and which is always greater than 1. Is this question is clear to everyone? Hello? Yes, someone is
Okay, sir.
commenting that n belongs to z minus 0. Yes, you cannot take 0 because then if we put n equal to 0, then e to the power 0 means b will be 1, and they are saying that the value of b must be greater than 1. So you cannot take you cannot take n equal to 0. So here you can make a correction that n belongs to z minus 0. Is it clear? Hello?
It's okay, sir. It's okay.
Let us discuss the next problem. What is given here? Here given that y1x and y2x be linearly independent solution of this differential equation, where px and qx are continuous function on the interval I. See carefully that they are saying that y1 and y2 are linearly independent solution. They are linearly independent solution, and they are defining y3 and y4 as a linear combination of y1 and y2, and they are asking that y3 and y4 are linearly independent solution of the differential equation for which condition? For which condition y3 and y4 will be linearly independent solution. So if possible, we are supposing that y3 and y4 are linearly dependent. Y3 and y4 are linearly dependent. So linearly dependent means y3 will be a scalar multiple of y4. So y3 equal to some k into y4, where k is a real number. And if we substitute the value of y3 from here and y4 from here, then we will get this equation. And if we take y1 and y2 in same side, in the left hand side, then and take common y1, then what we will get? We will get a minus k into c y1, k into d. Even y1 and coefficient of y2 must be 0. So if the coefficient becomes 0, then it will be a minus kc equal to 0, which will give a equal to kc, and b minus kd equal to 0, and which will give b equal to kd, and we will get a by c equal to b by d. What we are supposing? We are supposing that y1 and y2 are linearly dependent. So if they are linearly dependent, then we are getting this condition, a by c equal to b by d, and we know that the contrapositive statement is always true. That is, if a by c not equal to b by d, then the solution y3 and y4 will not linearly dependent. That is, if a by c not equal to b by d, then the solution will be not linearly dependent. Not linearly dependent means linearly independent. So if a by c not equal to b by d, then the solution will be linearly independent. So for linearly independent solution, AD not equal to BC. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, let us discuss the next problem. In the next problem, you can see here that they are saying that find Bx such that Yx equal to e to the power 4x into Vx is a particular solution of this given differential equation. So we have to find the value of Vx for which this is a particular solution of this differential equation. As Yx is a solution of the differential equation, Yx must satisfy this equation. So Yx is given by e to the power 4x into Vx. If we differentiate with respect to x in both sides, then what we will get? We will get, if we fix e to the power 4x, then b dash x, and if we fix Vx, then the derivative of e to the power 4x will give 4 e to the power 4x, and if we take e to the power 4x as common, then we will get b dash x plus 4 into Vx. Now the second order derivative of v double dash second order derivative of yx, that is, if we differentiate with respect to it in both sides of y dash x, then we will get, if we fix e to the power 4x, then the derivative of this term will give d double dash x plus 4 into v dash x, and if we fix this term, derivative of e to the power 4x will give 4 into e to the power 4x, and if we take common e to the power 4x, then we will get v double dash x plus 4v dash x plus 4v dash x, that is 8v dash x plus 16. So now if we substitute the value in the given differential equation, that is in this equation, then we will get here we just substituting value of y double dash, here y dash, and here y. Substituting these values, we are getting this equation, and if we cancel out e to the power 4x from both sides, because everywhere there is a term e to the power 4x, if we substitute this 4x, we will get this equation, and after simplification, you can see that 16 plus 16v plus 16v, that is 32v, will cancel out with minus 32v, and 8v dash will cancel out with minus 8v dash. So the remaining term will be v double dash x equal to 2x plus 11x to the power 10 plus 21x to the power 20. So if we integrate this equation, then we will get v dash x equal to, here will be x square plus x to the power 11 plus x to the power 21 plus some integrating constant. And if we again integrate this equation, then we will get bx equal to 2 by 3 is this question is clear? Have any doubt? Tell me. Hello. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir, audible. You
Yes.
continue.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes, please. Yes. Okay, next, go to the next problem. In the next problem, they are saying that the orthogonal trajectory of the family of curves y equal to c1 x cube are given by in which option? Can anyone say what will be the answer? Because it is a simple question. Someone please say how can we find the orthogonal trajectory for a given curve? What is the uh, procedure to finding the orthogonal trajectory of a given curve?
Hello.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Uh, so first find the differential equation of the equation, and then replace dy by dx by minus dx by dy, and then again solve it, and the solution curve is the orthogonal trajectory of
Yes.
that equation. Yes.
Yes. So here the given curve is y equal to c1 x cube. So if we differentiate with respect to x, then we will get dy dx equal to 3c1 x square. So according to the procedure of orthogonal trajectory, we have to replace dy by dx by minus dx by dy. So here we replace dy by dx equal to minus dx by dy, and that is equal to 3c1 x square. So here I manipulate some calculation. Here I retain x cube and divide by x, so it becomes x square. So it is okay. That 3c1 x square. And what is the value of c1 x cube? The value of c1 x cube is y. So c1 x cube is y. So 3y by x equal to minus dx by dy. And if we simplify this, then we will get minus x dx equal to 3y dy.
Hello.
And yes.
Sir, when
Yes,
you
please.
divided by x,
Yes.
uh, uh, it may happen that x is 0.
Yes. Here we should think about x not equal to 0. Otherwise, we will net okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Because if x not equal to 0, then we can substitute y by c1 x cube. Otherwise, if x equal to 0, then we cannot substitute y by c1 x cube.
Okay.
So if we take in both sides, then this becomes, so here is a mistake. Here it will be equal to 0. And if we integrate this, then we will get x square by 2 plus 3y square by 2. Here we take the integrating constant as c2 by 2 for simplifying the solution. Simplifying the solution means we can cancel out 2 from both sides, and it will give us x square plus 3y square equal to c2. Okay, then in which option it is given? Yes, please.
Sir, without dividing by x, multiplying and dividing by x, we can also solve, na?
Yes, you can also solve the equation. No
But the
problem.
answer is same.
Answer is same.
I mean, answer is same, or I can get any other option.
Which
I mean, if I solve from the second step itself, like dx by 3
You are not
x
getting
square.
this.
Hello.
Yes, yes, please.
In the second step, minus dx by dy is equal to 3c1 x square.
Yes,
If I solve from
this
that,
line.
if I solve from here, like dx upon minus 3x square is equal to dy, and then
Yes,
integrate
yes.
it, then my doubt is the answer is still same, or I can get another form.
You are solving this and you are getting another option
No. I'm just
or the
asking.
same option.
No, my doubt.
Oh, okay, okay. You will get the same answer.
Okay.
You can try and you will see that you will get the same answer.
Okay.
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 So let's solve the next problem. So here the differential equation is given dx dt equal to x plus 2y and dy dt equal to 4x minus y plus a to the power 3t. Can anyone say that what is the type of this type of differential equation? In which category they are belongs? This type of differential equation, that dx dt equal to something, dy dt equal to something.
Simultaneous
Yes,
equation.
yes. They are in the form of simultaneous differential equation. So here we have to find the general solution of this following differential equation. Okay, so if we replace d dt by capital D, then from the first equation we will get d minus 1 of x minus 2y equal to 0, and from the second equation we will get minus 4x plus d plus y into y equal to e to the power 3t. So we have to solve these two equations. So if we first try to find the value of x, so we should multiply the equation 1 by d plus 1 and equation 2 by 2, and adding this we will get, because then the coefficient of y will be cancelled and it will give d minus 1 into d plus 1 of x minus 8 of x equal to 2 into e to the power 3t. Is this portion is clear? How can I get here the value of x?
Yes, sir.
Because we just multiply both the equation by the coefficient of y and simplifying we are just getting this. So if we take x common, then it will be d square minus 9 equal to x, and we will arrive this equation. And here if we here the auxiliary equation will be m square minus 9 equal to 0, and which will give us the value as m equal to plus minus 3. So the complementary function will be c1 e to the power 3t plus c2 e to the power minus 3t. So, and we have and this is not a homogeneous equation, so we should find the particular integral. Can anyone say what will be the particular integral for a homogeneous equation? Hello? What will be the
0.
particular integral for a homogeneous equation?
0.
Yes, yes, sure. Because we have to find the particular integral using 1 by f of d into function of x. In the case of homogeneous equation, f of x will be 0. So 1 by f of d into some multiply by some 0, which will give us 0. So in the case of homogeneous equation, we need not we are just non solution will be 1 by d square minus 9.
Voice is breaking.
Yes.
Voice is sometimes breaking.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Now it is clear.
So here the yes. Now the particular here you can see that if we put 3 in place of d, then it will be 3 square minus 9. That is 9 minus 9 equal to 0. That is, we cannot apply that formula that that 1 by f of d to the power at equal to 1 by f of a to the power at, because here f of a becomes 0. So what we should do, we should replace d by d plus 3. So if we replace d by d plus 3, then what we will get? Then we will get d square plus 6d plus 9 minus 9. Plus 9 and minus 9 will cancel out, and this will give us d square plus 6d of 1. And if we take common 1 by 6d, then we will get 1 plus d square by 2d inverse into 1. And from where we will get 1 by 6d into 1. Can anyone say that how here I get this value is equal to 1? How can I write here that this value is equal to 1?
So we have to integrate 1 with respect to d.
No. I just want to know how. No,
This
please.
is the expansion of 1 plus x whole inverse. So this is can be extended as 1 minus x. So the d2 of 1, which is 0, as a constant function.
Yes. Here d square by 2d will give us d by 2. So it will be 1 plus d by 2 whole inverse. And the value of 1 plus d by 2 whole inverse means 1 minus d by 2 plus d square by 4 minus dot dot dot. And when we apply d by 2, d square by 4, then the value of 1, that is d by 2 into 1, d square by 4 into 1, will automatically become 0. So only 1 will remain, because in the formula 1 minus x plus x square minus x cube, so only 1 will remain. And after simplification, we have to operate 1 by d over 1, and 1 by d means we have to integrate. So if we integrate 1 with respect to t, that will give us t, and it will become 2e to the power 3t into the integration will give us t and the constant t by 6. So 2 and 6 will give us 1 by 3 to the power 3t. So what will be the value of x? Value of x will be cf plus pi. Pi means 1 by 3 to the power 3t, and the value of x will give us x equal to this expression. By this expression, value of x. Now we can find the value of y in the similar way by cancelling x, and otherwise you can also find the value of y from the equation 1. From the equation you can say that 2y equal to d minus 1 of x, that is y equal to half of d minus 1 into x. So what will be y will be half into d minus 1 of x, and d means d dt. And if we substitute the value of x here, then we will get the value of y automatically. Here I cannot show the value of y. You can find by putting the value of x and differentiating. You can easily find the value of y. Is it clear? Yes, someone is saying that write 1 as e to the power 0, then put 0 in the expression. Yes, you can do in this way also. You can find pi in many ways. You can solve in this way also, that you are saying. Is this question? Hello?
Hello, Mithun, keep your mic off. Yes. Yes, Taban, you can continue.
Okay, next, solve the next problem. Here, this is also a Cauchy-Euler equation, and we have to solve this differential equation. So, in the similar manner, we have to put log x equal to z, and what we will get? We will get d minus 1 plus d minus 1 into y equal to 4. Here, x will be e to the power z, so 4z e to the power 2z. And after simplification, we will get d square minus 1 of y equal to 4z e to the power z. And the auxiliary equation will be m square minus 1 equal to 0, and which will give us m equal to plus minus 1. So complementary function will be c1 e to the power minus z plus c2 e to the power z. And to find the particular integral, we have to solve this 1 by d square minus 1, 4z e to the power z. And we know that the usual procedure, we have to we have to replace d by d plus 1, and which we should operate on z, and which we after simplification it will give d square plus 2d plus 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 will become cancelled, and it will give us d square plus 2d of z. Here you can see that here if we take 1 by 2d as common, then it will give us 1 plus d square by 2d. Someone is muted, please unmute yourself. So it will give us 1 plus d by 2 whole inverse of z. Now you can see that if we expand this series, then what we will get? We will get 1 minus x plus x square minus x cube in this way. So if we operate this whole series over z, then what we will get? When we operate 1, that will give us z. When we operate d by 2, that will give us, d means differentiation, that will give us minus r. And when we operate d square by 4, that will be automatically 0 because the power of z is 1. And so the remaining term, when we operate the remaining term, that will also be automatically 0. So it will remaining z minus half. Now if we operate 1 by z over z minus half, that is, if we integrate z minus half, then what we will get? When we integrate z, it will give us z square by 2. When we integrate minus half, it will give us z by 2. So if 2 become cancel, then it will become e to the power z into z minus z square. Someone is saying explain the 14th last. I cannot getting you. Please mute yourself and ask the question. Explain the 14th last means. Hello. Hello.
I think maybe the last part of the 14th question.
Yes, yes. What is your doubt? Please tell me. Hello. Here I cannot calculate the value of y. You just put the value of x and differentiate with respect to t. And then after simplification, you will get the value of y. Okay. I cannot calculate the value here fully. Okay, okay. Thank you. So, what will be the value of yz? Value of yz will be cf plus pi. That is, the value of yz will be this. So, what will be the particulars? What will be the general solution of this equation? If the value of yz is this, general solution. Hello, is this answer?
Taban, your voice is not clear, not audible.
Hello, that yz equal to c.
Hello, some problem with your voice, Taban.
Because we are just putting log x equal to z. Now it is clear.
Okay. Yes. Yes, Taban, please continue.
Hello,
Yeah, Taban, you can continue.
is it clear now?
Yeah, it's okay now.
My voice is clear.
Yes, yes. Yes, Taban. Yes, you can continue.
So let us discuss some interesting properties regarding Wronskian. Wronskian mainly satisfies these three properties that if Wronskian at a given point become alpha, and if alpha is greater than 0, if alpha is greater than 0, then Wronskian will be greater than 0 for all x. For all x means in which domain we are try to find the solution of the differential equation. And if Wronskian at a point is less than 0, that is if alpha is less than 0, then Wronskian will be always less than 0 throughout the domain in which we are trying to find the solution of the differential equation. And if alpha equal to 0, that is Wronskian at a given point in the domain of the definition of the differential equation, then Wronskian will remain 0 throughout that interval. Is these three properties are clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Sir,
Okay,
when
so
Wronskian 0, then
yes,
the
yes,
solution of the differential equation linearly dependent.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. You can see these properties here also. That here is you mean some basic properties of Wronskian. That is, if Wronskian is positive, then it will always positive throughout that interval. And if Wronskian is less than 0, then it will be negative throughout the interval. Interval means in which we are trying to find the solution of the differential equation. And if alpha is 0, then Wronskian will become 0 throughout the interval. And again some interesting properties. Thus, if Wronskian is identically 0, that is, if Wronskian satisfying the condition 3, then we can say that the solution are linearly independent, and it is an if and only if condition.
Sir,
If
identically 0 means?
Identically 0 means here throughout the interval it is 0. That is, it will be a 0 value throughout the interval.
If we choose any point of the domain, then we can get 0.
Suppose you are trying to find the solution in the closed interval AB, and there is a point say 2, and if W at 2 equal to 0, then Wronskian of x will be 0 for all x belongs to the closed interval AB. Okay. If you know at a particular point, then you can say about the Wronskian value of the Wronskian throughout the interval. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So first condition saying that these are if and only if condition. If and only if means if Wronskian is identically 0, then the solution will be linearly dependent. And only if means if the solutions are linearly dependent, then Wronskian must be identically 0. And you can say that the second proposition is saying that if Wronskian is never 0, Wronskian never 0 means it will imply that the solution is linearly independent, and it is also an if and only if condition. That is, if y1 and y2 are linearly independent, then Wronskian must be non-zero. see these two proposition carefully. First, saying that if Wronskian is identically 0, then the solution will be linearly dependent, and it is an if and only if condition. And the second proposition is saying that if Wronskian is not equal to 0, then the solution will be linearly independent. Is this two proposition is clear?
Yes, sir.
So next try to understand the third proposition. Third proposition, they are saying that, yes, see the proposition 3. Proposition 3 saying that y1 and y2 are linearly independent, and this implies that there exists x0 such that w at x0 not equal to 0, which is obvious because see the proposition 2. Proposition 2 says that y1 and y2 are linearly independent, and it will imply that y1 and y2 never 0. Never 0 means they are for any particular value of x0 in the domain, Wronskian will be not equal to 0, and so it is implies that Wronskian is not equal to 0. And the other side is also obvious. If there exists x0 such that w at x0 not equal to 0, w at x0 not equal to 0 means either w at x0 is positive and w at x0 is negative, and this too will imply if w at x0 is greater than 0, then w at x0 will be w at any value will be greater than 0. That is, the value of Wronskian at any point will be greater than 0. So throughout the interval, Wronskian will be not equal to 0. And if the Wronskian is not equal to 0, then the solution will be linearly independent. Is proposition 3 is clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So similarly, you can say that if the solution are linearly dependent, then linearly dependent means Wronskian will automatically 0. So there must exist x0 for which w at x0 equal to 0. And other side, if there exists x0 such that w at x0 is 0, so throughout the interval Wronskian will be 0. And if the Wronskian is 0, so the solution will be linearly dependent. Is proposition 4 is clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
let us see the next proposition. Next proposition, what they are saying? They are saying that if they are just here the definition of Wronskian is given, and they are saying that if there exists x0 such that y1 at x0 is 0 and y2 at x0 is 0. It means what it means. Y1 at x0 equal to 0 and y2 at x0 equal to 0. It means that x0 is a common 0 of y1 and y2. Otherwise, you can say that x0 is a root of both the equation y1 and y2. Common 0 means they have same root or same 0. Hello?
No problem, Tapan. You can continue. Sorry.
Okay, then what will be if we try to find the value of Wronskian at x0, then what it will give? It will give us y at x1 0, y at x2 0, y2 at x0, y1 dash at x0, y2 dash at x0. And they are saying that there exists a common 0 of y1 and y2. So y1 at x0 is 0 and y2 at x0 equal to 0. If we substitute this and this by 0, and it will give, so w at x0 is 0. Now as Wronskian becomes 0, so y1 and y2 will be linearly dependent. So what actually the proposition are try to say? The proposition is trying to say that if the solutions y1 and y2 has common 0, then the solution must be linearly dependent. Is this clear? If the solution has common 0, then the solution must be linearly dependent.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is this proposition clear? Here is the proof of the proposition. Okay. Zero must be dependent. Of a theorem is always true. Someone please tell me what will be the contrapositive statement of this proposition? My proposition is if y1 and y2 have common 0, then the solution will be linearly dependent. What will be the contrapositive statement of this proposition?
Sir, if y1 and y2 are linearly independent, then there exists no common zero between
Yes,
y1 and y2.
yes. That means y1 and y2 have never a common 0. Okay. See, that proposition 2 is saying exactly that you are saying. If y1 and y2 are linearly independent, then they never have a common 0. Yes, proposition 2 is clear. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Because it is only the contrapositive statement of the proposition 1 and it will automatically true. Now see the next proposition. Next proposition says that if y1 dash at x0 equal to 0 and y2 dash x0 equal to 0, what is mean by y1 dash at x0 equal to 0 and y2 dash x0 equal to 0? It means that x0 is a common point of extrema. Because you can think that when we try to find the maximum value or minimum value, what we will do? We will equate the first order derivative as with 0, and then we try to find the sign of second order derivative for finding the maximum, that is maximum of minimum, that is extremum value of a function yx. So they are saying that if y1 dash x0 equal to 0 and y2 dash x0 equal to 0, then what will be the Wronskian? In the similar way, this and this become 0. So w at x equal to 0, that is y1 and y2 are linearly dependent. Can anyone please say what the proposition actually want to say? Here just they are doing some calculation, but what is the proposition actually want to say? The proposition actually want to say that if the solution has a common point of extrema, then the solution must be linearly dependent. Is it clear? Common point of extrema means
Yes, sir.
y1
Clear.
dash, yes, y1 dash at x0 equal to 0 and y2 dash at x0 equal to 0. So if the solution have common point of extrema, then the solution must be linearly dependent. What will be the contrapositive statement of this proposition? Please, anyone?
Sir, if y1 and y2 are linearly independent, then they don't have a common point of extrema.
Extrema. Yes, sure. Let's see. If y1 and y2 are linearly independent, then they never have a common point of extrema. Up to this proposition is clear to everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Taban, our time is almost to end, so you can quickly come towards an end, and
Okay, sir.
we can have some interactions. Okay.
Okay, sir. Let me discuss another problem, and then we will finish. In the similar way, you can see the proposition 5 and 6. So here I just given here a problem regarding Wronskian. Everyone see the question, and if anyone know the answer, what will be the answer using this proposition without solving the question? Using this proposition, can anyone say what will be the answer of this question? So first of all, see the question carefully.
Sir, it's option A.
Yes, why the answer will be option A?
Sir, the point half is w half is 0, so the and half belongs to the domain of the function. So wx equal to 0.
Now you can see the question. Second question. Can anyone say what will be the answer? You just see here carefully what is given. What is mean by this four options? Given four conditions. And using this, we have to find that Wronskian at a point 2. So if anyone try, please try it within minutes. Otherwise, I will tell you the solution. What will be the solution? Here, see the given options carefully. y1 at 0 is 1, y1 dash at 0 is 1, y2 at 0 equal to -1, and y2 dash at 0 equal to 0.
So the Wronskian is 2 into e to the power minus x square.
Wronskian is?
2 into e to the power x square.
How can you calculate the Wronskian? Using Abel's theorem?
Yes, sir.
What is the Wronskian you are getting? Wronskian equal to?
Sir, what is Abel theorem?
E to the power?
2 into e to the...
I have already mentioned Abel's theorem, na? Wronskian. Okay, I just saying Wronskian. Okay, please tell me what is Wronskian?
2 into e to the power x square.
Okay, let me write the Abel's theorem also here. Abel's theorem saying that Wronskian at any point which is equal to Wronskian at a given point into e to the power minus integration that given point, that is integration x0 to x, and by coefficient of y2, that is here coefficient of y dash. Here coefficient of y dash is -2x square and coefficient of y double dash is x. So it will be minus 2x square by x. Sorry, minus 2x square by x. It will be minus 2x square by x. It will be minus 2x square by x dx. Is it clear? By Abel's theorem, we can write this one. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what after integrating, we will get e to the power w at x0 into e to the power 2 x and x square will be cancelled. So what we will get?
So we will get x square.
Minus x up to this portion is clear.
Yes, sir, clear.
Hello.
So the minus will be
Now
cancelled.
here if you see that this.
Sir.
Oh, sure. Here is a minus in the formula. Yes, minus this become cancel. If you see that these 4 options clearly, that and if I try to write here that what is there given, that y1 at 0, y2 at 0, and y1 dash at 0, and y2 dash equal to 0, and it will give that Wronskian at 0. So yeah, you can find that all the values are given here: y1 at 0, y2 at 0, y1 dash at 0, and y2 at 0. So you will find the value of Wronskian at 0. So if you replace by this x0 by 0, so it will w at 0, 0 to x, and x, and you here the value of w at 0 is given. So simply you will calculate calculating this integration, you will get w at x. Okay. So let me finish here. Let's try to solve the question. If the Wronskian at a given point is given, so you should try it using Abel's theorem. If the Wronskian at any particular value is given. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Taban, for joining with us. Now it is the time for interaction. Before that, let me express my gratitude to Taban for being with us for this online problem solving session. And now it is the time for discussion.
Yes, if anyone have any doubt, any question, please tell me.
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful session. And sir, I am from West Bengal. I read in Ashutosh College in third year. I
Okay.
am
Okay, you are
pursuing.
from Calcutta.
Yes, I am pursuing for the IIT JAM.
Okay,
exam.
okay.
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful session. And the properties of Wronskian, I have doubt in those portions, so it's very beneficial for me. Thank you, sir.
Okay, okay. I will share the notes with sir, and sir will provide you the PDF.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I am
From
Uttam.
there.
What is the Abel property?
Abel's theorem is saying that suppose a given differential equation is a0 y double dash plus a1 y dash plus a2 y equal to 0. Then if the value of the Wronskian at a given point is given, suppose that Wronskian at x0 is given. So the Abel's theorem saying that Wronskian at any point, that is w x equal to w at x0 into integration e to the power minus a1 by a0 dx. After integrating, you will get this solution. Okay, I will share the notes with sir, and you can see there also the formula of Abel's
Yes,
theorem.
clear. Okay.
Uttam Kumar, can you introduce yourself?
I am a student of Narendra Ramakrishna Mission, which is belongs to West Bengal.
From
This
which
is
state?
West Bengal.
West Bengal. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, other participants?
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
I'm Sri Lakshmi. I'm a BSc Maths student, third year from Kerala. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you because I got a lot of ideas and techniques and all. Thank you so much. It was very beneficial. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Any other participant?
Myself, Ziaru. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, yes. Yes, Gia, you can continue.
Myself, Ziarus Johnson, and I'm from Kerala. And the session was very wonderful because usually ODE problems are a little bit difficult and the students will be reluctant to do such problems. But by this section, we could solve many problems and we get an idea to conquer competitive exams. And it was a nice, overall, it was a nice session. And thank you so much for your presence and for the time you have spent for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gia.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, Anisha, yes.
Myself, Anisha. I'm studying MSc second year, Kerala. And the today's class was very nice. We got a lot of information from this, and you discussed all these problems in a very clear manner, and the properties of Wronskian helped a lot of us. And thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anisha. I think.
Good afternoon, sir. I am
Yes.
Adi Prasad from Vimala College, Thrissur, from Kerala. This session was very nice, and it was. I think I could follow many of these questions. Since I have bit difficulty in this differential equation, but I feel so good when I attend this class. Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session. Yeah, that's.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Arya.
Sir, you can suggest a standard book of differential equation.
You can see from ASL Ross. S.L. Ross is a very good book.
Thank you, sir.
For many problems, I think Rising Hania, a book by Rising Hania is there, having lots of worked out problems for your
Yes,
competitive
sir.
examination.
For many concept and theorem, you can see S.L. Ross.
Okay.
And
Yes,
for
sir. Thank you.
problem solving, you can see the book that sir suggests.
Okay. Any others? I think somebody else, Nuzaibat. Yes. Okay, thank you, Nuzaibat. Some audio problem is with her. Is there anyone else? Any comments? Otherwise, we will wind up here. So once again, I would like to express my sincere gratitude and thanks to Mr. Tapan Sarkar for spending a lot of time with us, and also giving solutions to many problems from previous question papers of JAM. I hope that, I'm sure that this will be really helpful for those who are preparing for JAM exam. Okay. And also,
Sir, you can share PDF.
Yes,
yes,
yes, I
sure.
will share with sir.
We will share the PDF of today's class with our WhatsApp group. Okay. So once again, I thank all the participants and
Sir,
also
I
the
am not in
resource.
the WhatsApp group.
You can contact me. Okay, you can call me after this program. You can call me. Okay.
Sir, your number, this is not.
I will give you the number 944-6986-177. 944-6986-177. I think.
Thank you,
Sir,
sir.
please repeat the number so that I can share with all the participants. 944
6986 177.
Hello.
944-6986-177. Somebody has typed it in the chat box. So anyone wish to join our WhatsApp group family, you can they can contact me in that number. So let me wish Tapan Sarkar all success in his research career ahead. All the very best. And I wish all the participants all success in their coming examinations. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.